we did it.
Right, here we go.
This has only taken about half an hour to set up.
Actually, it best had not. See, this is the problem you've got though when you've got people who actually know what they're doing and someone doesn't know what they're doing, which is me.
Yeah, for those listening, me and Simon decided we'd be really clever and do a podcast while Jack wasn't around.
Exactly.
And Jack's the only one that knows how any technology works. So,
I know. This is what the problem is though, isn't it? Like, you know, you've got creativity in terms of making stuff visual, and you've got creativity in terms of making things work, and I think Jack is literally the one who makes things work.
Today's lesson is all about having that practical person to...
Exactly. Should we introduce ourselves?
We should introduce ourselves, yeah.
Like Jack, like the way Jack likes it.
Like okay. Jack does, the nice and proper way to start a podcast.
Okay. I guess we can just kind of talk through this and he'll cut it and chop and change it.
Yeah, he'll chop and change. Maybe you can do a nice little voiceover in post.
Okay.
So welcome to the Creative Jam podcast with me, Matt, and my fellow co-host.
And it's Simon. Hello.
Simon, there we go.
Hello, everyone.
We struggled through that nicely.
I know. And they're back again. If you listen again, you know who we are already.
Yeah, if you've listened before, then you know the level of professionalism that's currently.
Imagine that. Imagine listening to the whole... How many episodes is it now? We're talking...
5, 6?
5 or 6, wow.
Something like that, yeah. Depending on which order these go out in.
I know. Imagine listening to us talk shit for like an hour and actually doing the whole thing. I wonder how many people actually listen to the whole thing and not actually...
We'll be able to tell now because we're live. So I think on the stats it shows you when people tune in and out. I'm sure at some point.
Interesting data.
I'm currently enjoying watching your kitten play with your headphone wire.
Well, this is it. You know what? I feel bad leaving it in here, but I don't want to move it out. But I might have to go and take it away, to be honest, because she's literally going to chew these headphones to pieces.
She's not affecting the quality of the show, I think.
She's not. But she might just affect the £100 headphones Jack just bought to make this even more seamless. Which is
really? Is that?
Oh, yeah. Audio Technica, you know, not to shout out a brand or anything, you know, like that. We're not sponsored by Audio Technica, but at the same time, not yet, exactly. But the thing is, we've got all the gear, and obviously no idea in this respect.
None of the idea, because we couldn't even work out to turn the microphone on.
I know. He did tell me as well before he left, because obviously for everyone else's benefit, Jack's gone to York. He's been away this week. He's very, very secretive. He's being very secretive about it, yeah. Oh, he's enjoying himself. So basically, you know, Jack is a workaholic, like I think most creatives are. So he took 2 whole weeks to do his own thing, which is nice. And so we should.
It's unheard of for him.
It actually is, to be fair. Like, I've never actually known him not to be sitting at a computer easily 12 hours a day, every single day.
Having lived with Jack myself, I know that he burns the candles at both ends.
I know. No innuendo, by the way. That's
no innuendo there. Yeah, he is 24/7 on it. Doesn't stop to recharge. So the fact he's actually taken 2 weeks is a miracle.
Well, it's kind of thing, you know. I think it's more of a subject we'll probably touch upon in more in depth, I guess, because I don't know, like, experience-wise, like, you know, how important is time off?
I think it's massive. I don't know if I reckon Jack will probably think that it's important to be burning straight away all the time, but for me especially, I think if I'm flat out 24/7, then I'm just going to break down really quickly.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah. It definitely helps to have little recharges.
Do you think it's kind of like, you know, depending on your personality? No, I wouldn't say personality, actually. It's more just in general of, like, you know, how you work best. Because I must admit... Go on, sorry.
I was going to say, I find that I actually work in a way that's... I'm really productive for short spurts.
Oh, okay.
So I get really short spurts of massive productivity and get a load done, and then I'll just be brain dead for the next like couple of hours, and nothing. I can stare at the computer and just twiddle my thumbs, and nothing good will come out.
Mm-hmm. But that's like your break time. So your break time is generally like, you know, you're doing nothing for like say 20 minutes.
Yeah, it took me a while. It took me a while to learn that as well, that actually if nothing's coming out, then why torture myself?
Yes, exactly.
Obviously it's different sometimes when you're in work and when you're in that kind of environment, and you know you've got deadlines and you've just got to try and bash it out. But yeah, when it's just not coming to you, just take a minute.
I think that's the thing. There wasn't like, under pressure. Everyone's been through it. Any industry really. You've got to sometimes be like, when I've got a deadline, I've got to meet at like 2:00. It's now 1:30, and I've got 40 minutes worth of work to do. I'll still get and do that. Like I say, I think stands don't drop. It's like how you cope in that pressure.
Yeah, Jack will always vouch for me that I was writing essays night before they were due.
I've heard about this story actually, in terms of like how you will literally get a first and still do it within like the night before. How do you do that?
I'll be modest, but yeah, that is. I managed to I pulled my dissertation out in 10 days.
10 days.
Starting from scratch. Because I rethought my whole topic for what I was going to do it on, and pulled it out the bag into that. That's one that I wouldn't recommend leaving till the last minute, because that was nearly the end of me. But
what though? I think there's lessons we learned there. Like, so, firstly, the main question is, why did you decide to change it so last minute? And secondly, how the fuck did you do that?
I think because the way our course was structured, it just never was a set time to stop and really think of the practicalities through. And I always had my mind on the kind of practical filmmaking stuff, that it just kind of took a back burner until for the last minute. And I was always like pretty sure that I'd just quietly get it done.
Yeah.
And then I finally got around to having a meeting with my tutor, and we talked through it, and I realised that this just wouldn't work. So
that's interesting.
I can't even remember how it didn't change completely. It wasn't completely from scratch. There were still elements that I took over, but
like a different direction at least, which is always the kind of case,
absolutely. Isn't it? But yeah, just spent 10 days cramming. I even had to watch films in those 10 days and still make notes.
How many hours of film?
Say of the 10 days was probably like 2 straight days of films.
What? That's mad. So basically, so give or take a week with your time like taken off to literally just exist. You talk like a week of pure writing, which is crazy.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
pure writing or pure quote finding as well, because you've got to cram so many quotes into a dissertation just for box checking. But yeah, that was 10 days, and I honestly, I could have done a better job, but I managed to scrape a 2-1, which is what I needed for my first in my degree.
Wow.
But yeah, I was always like that. Some of the best things that I wrote during uni came out middle of the night.
Really?
Yeah.
So I guess in that respect, you call yourself like a night owl in traditional sense of like that's when you work best.
I have like peak hours of about 12 and 2 at night.
Wow.
And then I'll gradually either hit sometimes I'll hit like a really good point in my writing about like 2:00, but then my tiredness kicks in, and I realise that my like mind's willing, but my fingers aren't quite catching up. That's
crazy.
Yeah, or it'll just go downhill after 2. But yeah, I tend to get stuff done. I remember I think I churned out like 2 essays once in a night with the night before. And one was a piece that I was really happy with. I think it got a first on some films by Nicholas Winding Refn, a Danish director.
Okay.
And whacked them out pretty quickly. I was pretty chuffed with myself.
So,
I can't remember what I was doing. I was like shaking on caffeine. That's what I was doing it. But,
so I was going to say, actually, what you attribute to your success in terms of getting the good grades? Is it either A, you're very, very talented writing, which could be the case, or
could be
it's the caffeine, or
a little bit of both.
Do you reckon so? I guess
what was option number 3?
Option number 3, I don't know. I wouldn't say luck, because it's just not. You can't be lucky enough to do it multiple times. I think you've been tried and tested. But then everything else, like your process, then basically, it's about like taking as much chill time as possible until you get to the bitter end, and then when you're under pressure, you will perform to your best of your ability. Is that probably the way it goes? It's
nice, because then when I do start thinking about the stuff that I need to be thinking about, it's because I'm enthusiastic and thinking about it. It's not because it's a grind necessarily. So I'll think about it before, and then I'll have kind of all the half ideas there in my head, and then when the stress comes, then I can get them down. But I don't like spend time planning and writing stuff down a lot, which is probably something I should be doing.
So essentially, when you have a subject matter, you think, okay, I know what I've got to do, but your day-to-day life, you might be going to Tesco to get a meal deal, for example.
Yeah.
But then you'll still know in the back of your head, like subliminally, that, you know, you have that to achieve. So that, it's still there. It's just not a case of you doing it fully frontal and researching, but you're still thinking about it.
Even now, I'll get ideas for things, and they'll come to me at 4:00 in the morning, or just before I go to bed, or when I'm in the shower, and I'll get that's when I get my best ideas. It's not when I'm sat thinking I need an idea.
That's interesting because I think people in general, like, you know, I always think this thing, you know, like you say, like, interviews or people like, oh, this is the process, this is the way it works, but I never really agree with the fact that one size fits all with this in terms of any way you work, no matter what job role you're in, creatively especially. Like for me, for example, like I will literally, I like time. I'm not saying I need the time, but what I need is, like you're saying, is like that kind of time to go through the process, just generally just not even think about it for a while. And then, you know, I will be thinking about it, so I won't be, you know, full frontal always in my mind. It will be subliminally in the back of my mind.
Yeah, sometimes just letting your body, letting your head process that you've got a task.
Yeah.
Or you've got something that needs doing, or you've got something to think about.
Yeah.
It's sometimes just quite nice to let your head do that itself without stressing yourself out over it. And that took me a long time, I think, to kind of get, because I would beat myself up sometimes because I'd see everyone else working so hard constantly, and I'd beat myself up thinking,
that's not me, kind of thing.
I'm getting all right grades, but I should be doing this. I should be.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. It's not the case, though, is it? If it works for you, it works.
Absolutely. And like my uni tutor did say that I have got quite a good writing style, in that I've got a good grasp of things. So
cool.
I could have. She said, like, you can write about anything, and you're going to get like a baseline of.
Oh, really?
She said pretty much my writing style will give me a baseline of something like a 2-2.
Wow.
And anything that I can write that adds value to that will do that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it annoyed a lot. It annoyed quite a few. I have like one friend at uni who would just spend months in the library constantly, and grind out the same thing as me, and I'd turn up with a essay I wrote the night before, like shaking on tea and Red Bull. Yeah. And
well, that's the thing, though, isn't it? With that, like, you know, you can have jealousy to a degree, but at the same time, you know, like, there's probably things you probably seen the same person for, and thought, you know what, I wish I was like you in that respect, like, in different ways.
I absolutely, I have I have a work smart, not hard attitude, and I absolutely wish that I had that ability to just work constantly.
Yeah. You know what, though? I don't think it's needed, though. I think if you've got that, you know what you're going to get, you know you can perform at your best of your ability in a certain way. That is what you need to do and stay true to. It's good you have in your mind, because I think, you know, a hard work ethic is probably what's got me through certain things, you know what I mean? For example, like, I am not a creative writer. I got a third in my dissertation. Like, I got a 49, which is literally under a 2-2, which is really bad. So the base story goes of, like, obviously I did graphic communication with typography, essentially. Yeah. A fairly base course, but it's a graphic design course, you know, fundamentals of it anyway. So a lot of it was, again, coursework based, you know, project based. That's what you got your main grades for, but dissertations and essays are part of it, as in design theory. So the problem with that was, you know, I was, you know, averaging 2-1s. I was on track for 2-1. My dissertation nearly brought me down to like a 2-2 in the end, because of, you know, the writing part of it, which I didn't agree with. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I get it, because again, I've got to at least be, you know, I can communicate very well on paper. That wasn't my bag. It never has been my bag. I like copywriting, that kind of thing, like creative writing. Yeah. But I'm not the wordsmith.
It's hard, because sometimes even I find when I'm writing like academic essays, I want to make it sound more interesting. Yeah. I want to add some creative writing bits in there and make it, you know, I want to put like rhetorical questions and stuff like that. Exactly. But it's having to learn to keep yourself away from doing that. Exactly. Like on the opposite side of things, though, I think it does depend as well on what you're doing. I remember when I used to, I made the decision when I was like in a high school that I was going to take music for GCSE, despite not playing an instrument at the time. I was like just learning the drums, and that does not get you far in a music.
Oh really?
Music GCSE, yeah, because
that's interesting.
You've got to like put together melodic things and stuff like that so that was one where I did actually have to grind. Like I got got a piano teacher to teach me some stuff.
Oh, really?
Went for some top-up lessons. Really had to kind of grind away to get a semi-decent result in that. And that was one time where I really thought I'm out of my depth.
Yeah, but GCSE though, I mean, Yeah. Is any really young people listening, I'm going to say this now.
If there are any young people listening,
GCSE, try your best. You don't get what you wanted.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Don't worry.
No one will care. When you're our age, even like when you're 20, no one's going to care. Give it 4 years. Done.
It's not even that. As soon as you walk into your A levels, no one cares.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I remember being made to think like these were the end of the world.
Yeah.
When I was in school, and it's mad how you
I think that's the thing though, isn't it? Like any party of your life, no matter what party life you're in, but when you get to like a bit of aware in terms of like, literally professional, young professionals, you kind of become accustomed to like, this is the way it is now, I've got to, it's on me to kind of make myself better what I am because I'm good enough to do it right now. But when you're at the kind of education level, I think there's lots to be learned in terms of, listen to things like this because we probably give some good insights in terms of, what we thought then and what we think now. It's so different.
I'd like to think so.
So different.
I think there's a really good way that you can frame yourself that, when you're doing those things, it teaches you how to broach tasks, how to, start to be responsible about those things. But
absolutely.
I don't think the end result is the be all and end all.
No, it's not.
Like, especially when you break down what in those subjects you've actually ever used since.
Yeah. Exactly. Algebra, no chance. No chance.
You probably use a bit of trigonometry.
Trigonometry. I don't even know what that means.
I bet you secretly use some trigonometry.
I probably do. What is it? Explain it to me. Oh, I see.
Shapes and stuff.
You know what? Interesting you say that because
shapes and things.
Math. As in math.
Math.
Your math.
Mathematics.
Mathematicals. Yeah, exactly. Numbers and stuff, right? So, for example, I was doing a workshop, online workshop. 2020 and all that. It was Joby Carter, a really incredible sign painter. Everyone should look his work. A lot of fairground rides, that kind of style.
Amazing.
Oh, it's incredible. Look him up. Joby Carter, he's called. He does some really good workshops anyway. So they're basically 5 days a week, 1 hour sessions, and he would teach you how to do many different things. You can do like coach line painting, which is like dragging really long lines of paint. Sounds boring. It's not.
Yeah.
One's fancy letters. Fancy letters is more like how to make cool normal sans serif typefaces become fancy and cool, more like circus kind of style. But what I did was, learn how to draw letters. So the thing with that is I learned some really cool things from it. So like you're saying, trigonometry in terms of angles and stuff. So he got an alphabet on an A4 piece of paper and he was showing us how to like scale up for like to bigger scales. So like imagine A4 to say like A2, not like size A2 letter, but like, A2 board of like, with A4 letters, blah, blah. So, like I say, I couldn't wrap my head around how he did it. It was incredible. Well, but that's because I'm not good at maths.
In my head, like you look at like the shape of a capital A.
Yes.
And if you want to scale that up, you need to make sure that angle stays
exactly. That's
same.
what I mean. It's all based on mathematics.
I imagine so much you just eyeball because you've gotten accustomed to like this looks right, or you can scale it on a computer.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, drawing letters wise, like that's the thing. Like you should never use anyone who likes hand lettering. Never use a digital font and think that is the way to do it because it's probably not. Like that's the thing. There's additional ways of doing things, and like that's why I like sign painting so much because again, it's not just about like I can paint a sign on a board. There's a lot about it that is the proper way to do it because it's traditional. It's been done for hundreds of years, and that's where maths has come in handy for that. If I was better at maths, I'm very bad at maths. I probably know more how to do it, but I can't grasp how to do it properly. I do better now because again, like you're saying, the eyeballing thing, it works to a degree. Yeah. But there's little tricks you can see. He taught us how to kind of use, like I say, a bit of cardboard, cut a right angle out of it, and then you've got a letter. You can then make drop shadows by just drawing that right angle, as long as the same width,
Yeah, like what do they call it? They call a set square.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, in the old mathematics.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, like.
It's funny as well. Even I've spoke to tattoo artists before now that have had people turn up with typefaces and stuff like that that they've just written in Google, in like Word.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, it's not how they really work. They learn set styles for writing.
Man. Absolutely. You know what? It's an interesting thing there, actually, because I've got so much respect for tattoo artists, because they don't just learn how to draw, they literally learn everything. They're better typographers than I'd ever be, and that's what I would say I specialise in typography. They're better than I am at script, black letter, even like your general, they can't get it right. There's a problem there. They've got to get everything spot on. Not every tattoo artist, we know some, you can see some ones that are kind of, entry level. But if you go to like a £100 an hour tattoo artist, you're paying for that service, and it's worth every single penny.
And they're not doing it on paper. It's, well, they are for the
sketch, but it's skin.
For the sketch, but the actual to work on the skin and understand how the different parts of the skin are going to take the ink and work around corners for. I mean, because you get some mad requests as a tattoo artist.
You do get mad requests. You know what's funny? Imagine, so anyone else that you think, oh, it can't be that difficult, surely it's just skin, right? So you go and find the most ticklish person you know, and you take a ballpoint pen, just a ballpoint pen, and you go and try and draw something on them, see how much they squirm. I'm a bad sitter. How are you? Do you sit well?
I'm good, I'm pretty good with sitting.
Well, I think I'm a bad sitter. I think I am, but I do try, I literally try and just make myself still as a rock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you've got to be.
I tend to forget to breathe for about 15 minutes, and then eventually remember that just breathe with this and let it happen. I've not been since. I can't imagine getting tattooed with a mask on though yet.
You know what, mate? I think that's what deterred me in terms of so everyone got tattooed again. I need to get back into swing of it. It's been 5 years. We had that conversation, didn't we? In terms of
I think
not been tattooed for a while.
Yeah.
But with a mask on, I like to breathe. I like to deep breath in. Depends if you're getting tattooed. I'm getting somewhere. If I get tattooed again, it'll be somewhere very much I can sit there and think whatever it is, what it is. But you get your chest tattoos or something like that with pure bone or sensitive areas. I would not want to sit there with a mask on and be like.
Have you had any sensitive bits tattooed?
I think the worst one I've probably got is maybe stomach.
Sensitive bits on your stomach.
Well, when I say stomach, it's below belly button, so it's more towards groin area, I guess, basically between your hips, but it's so sensitive. When I was 17, though, not going to shout tattoo WhatsApp because I shouldn't have been doing it. But anyway,
another thing that school kids should be listening to and paying attention to.
Don't get tattooed underage. Don't get tattooed underage. You know what? It's funny. You should never do it anyway, because I was very naive at that point, and I've got some awful tattoos based on the fact that I was underage. Yeah, man.
We'll do a tattoo tour of Simon one day.
Yeah, honestly, when we get video, we all show tattoos, and I'll say this is what you should not do. I'll tell you what it is. It's basically evidence. Shall I tell you the story? Actually, it was quite funny.
Yeah, please.
So, when I was 17, I drank my very first beer. Simpsons.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we made Kelvin back in college. We meant to be in life drawing, which life drawing's I'll probably do it now and enjoy it, but back then I was 17, a bit we should probably get into these stories actually while we start. I was
even as a terrible non-artist, I'd love to go to a life drawing class.
Oh mate, at the time I did not appreciate it for what it is, but when you kind of when you're 17, you're a bit in college I was a bit I just want to do something creative and fun art. We were getting that properly. It's probably a good subject how we got to where we are today. That's kind of my fundamentals in college. But anyway, life drawing's cool. We was meant to be in it, but we didn't. We were you know what, let's go to town instead. In Toronto, this is in Cornwall. We decided to go to a tattoo shop. I had no tattoos previously. I walked in because Kelvin was 18, I was 17. When was his birthday? I think September he was, I was December, so it was a few months off, 6 months off. Yeah. So anyway, he goes in and he's like, oh, we want to get a tattoo, blah, blah, blah. Give it the, oh, yeah, he's 18. Where's my ID? I was like, I haven't got my ID. That old chestnut of I haven't brought it with me, but I'm 18. So he was like, okay. Looked at us for 5 minutes. He was like, we probably seen both, we looked young, but both of us did, but he was 18. I wasn't, it could have been either way. I'm not saying it was his. He did it because I don't care. He did care a lot, you could tell.
Yeah.
But he was like, see this guy on the wall? He points to the wall. On the wall was this man. He was built like a UFC fighter, like a heavyweight UFC fighter. He was massive bodybuilder, tribal tattoos covered this whole front. And he was like, if you're not 18, he's going to come after you. And I found out later on down the line the fact that he wasn't taking the piss. It was his son. That was his son. Yeah, so he tattooed as well. He wasn't there at the time, but anyway.
Yeah.
So we got these tattoos anyway. So I was like, okay. So
that is still insanely irresponsible of him.
No, it's terrible. Yeah, I'm not going to name the shop, like, but you know, it is what it is.
Don't name his shame, but there is a lot of that goes on in the world.
Of course,
like,
he was old school as well. He's like, you know, don't forget this guy. He didn't actually use any transfer paper. He just literally up by hand, like drew it up by hand. Yeah. So the first tattoo I got was a star. Well, I got three in one sitting essentially. So one was a star on my upper forearm, upper. Well, my shoulder basically. Yeah. Sorry, not a forearm, it's like this, but anyway. A star. He drew it up by hand, literally, ballpoint pen, tattooed that. Second one was that on my left wrist, there's a thing that's got peace, love, and happiness symbols, like icons. Yeah. Stupid. Don't know why. Just did it. I don't know.
You were 17. Like, I'm so thankful that I didn't get myself a tattoo at 17 for that reason. Like.
So picture this then, right? So you know Mercedes, imagine Mercedes' logo, like the badge of Mercedes, right?
The emblem.
Vertical line, and then 2 coming off it at the bottom.
Yeah.
So me being an absolute idiot when I was 17, I drew it out for him and missed the bottom line of the peace symbol. So he literally drew Mercedes love and happiness on my left wrist. I had no idea until I realised, like, about 2 years later. No word of a lie. No idea.
Mercedes-Benz logo on instead of a peace logo.
He must have known. And I thought, you know what? Absolutely. I'm not even going to correct him.
No. This is what he wants. This is what he gets.
Yeah, and I got that fixed when I got a treble clef. These are like 17, 18 tattoos. You know what I mean? You know, like crappy ones. Yeah. I've got better ones now. I promise. Kind of. They're all stickers now. But anyway, you know, it's stuff like that. You think, wow, what a terrible thing. But anyway, the one with my stomach. Back to the original point. Yeah. Essentially, what it is anyone likes football who's listening. You know, Everton FC, you know, the greatest team in the world, obviously, who's going to win the league this season, like we spoke last week, number 1 on the charts.
It's worrying that they are still number 1.
We are number 1 and 2 and 3, I'm pretty sure still. But anyway, so yeah, that was our slogan is nil satis nisi optimum. So it's Latin for nothing but the best is good enough, right? So I got that tattooed because I thought, like, I'm quite a skinny person, you know, like I'm not that broad, you know what I mean? So when I was 17, I was even littler, you know what I mean? Imagine that. So I thought, okay, I don't want my chest because, you know, but what is similar to a chest in terms of width? That get on, so okay, between the hips. So I got this, like, tattoo. He drew it on really, you know, bad script, like hand-drawn script. Drew it up in ballpoint and then, you know, tattooed it on me. Great. I thought I was the bollocks. I thought I was the boy. Did. Went back to college and the girl we used to know called Nessa, she was like, what is it? I was like, it means nothing but the best is good enough. It's Everton's kind of motto. It's like, you better be good then. I was thinking, like, what does she mean? Oh. And sexual connotations of, you know, like, you know, it's right above your penis, you know what I mean? Like
it is in a space that's very suggestive, isn't it?
And then I thought, wow, I've really sold myself here. And it's really bad as well. I'm like, wow, what a terrible idea that was.
I think the burning question is, though, did it work at the time?
Well, no one complained, I guess. So, but then, you know, I'm quite a nice guy. People are generally quite nice to me, so I don't know. Yeah. But at the same time...
It didn't hinder matters then?
No, absolutely not. No one ever questioned it, so I suppose it's one of them. And you know how it is as well, you know, you're kind of a little bit tattooed, like you think, oh, that's cool, you got a tattoo, that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes, isn't it? That's the thing, you see, though, like, I do with that one day I'll be covered up, that'll be like a big fat panther or something cool, you know what I mean? Like something really black and like, you know, cover the whole thing.
I love that there's people who still just don't care what they get tattooed. They just want to get tattooed because, like, my mate who is a tattoo artist who says the amount of people that he comes in just says, I want a sleeve.
Yeah, right.
And it's like, yeah, cool.
I'll do it, yeah.
What do you want on it? Yeah. And they're like, skulls
you see,
and stuff.
Well, this is it, like... I don't mind that in a sense because like to go to like for example, like, so I guess me and you got like similar styles in terms of, like, you know, traditional traditional kind of tattoos and stuff, you know what I mean? We kind of do it by tradition in terms of, you know, like say by stickers. What I mean by that is, you know, like tigers, panthers, skulls, that kind of cool stuff. Because I don't care too much what I get tattooed as such, but I do care about what, you know, is it fitting that bill essentially is what my kind of mantra is. So if you go to a shop and say, okay, I want a sleeve, cool, what do you want? So I want, but you go and say I want a traditional sleeve, they will know exactly what to do, and they'll be like, okay, I'll plan that for you. You know what I mean? Like you say, what do you like? Any ideas what you do like?
Give them some ideas, you know, even if they've got flash on their walls and stuff like that, which
just pick up the wall, innit?
I reckon most good tattoo artists should be making their own flash and stuff.
For sure. Well, to be fair, like, you know,
especially when they get time.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, you've got an abundance of amazing artists in Chester. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah, we're really good. We're really good here for such a place that you wouldn't expect. Like,
yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah, it's better than probably Liverpool, I'd say, in traditional scene. Not better, but you know, I think you've got some really talented artists in Chester. Because are yours Chester based? Like every artist you've been to, Chester based?
No, well, weirdly, the guy that I get tattooed by mostly is from Chester but works out of Liverpool.
Oh, okay. Who is it?
Stefan Peters.
Oh shit! Yes.
Just actually framed print of Flash.
Show me. Have you got it on you?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Absolutely
that's
beautiful.
awesome.
Like,
is that from Stefan?
No, this is from a girl called Neve Holmes who works in
Lovers.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely incredible. Still apprenticing.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
One of my favourite bits is the kind of ripples in the water. If you see them in person,
I love that.
They're absolutely stunning. She's one of the most talented people I know.
I was going to say she's going to be like she will have like a cult following eventually if she works on as an apprentice. It's incredible.
Absolutely desperate to go and get tattooed by her. In the
funny
future.
thing is, well, that's it. Like for me, I've since come back home, even like 2016, I came back to Liverpool. Like I thought I'm going to get tattooed again.
Yeah,
it was either Lee Corley, it was Stefan, and you know what was it? The Crypt.
Yeah.
Them two, and I went to see Neve as well. Is it Neve?
Neve, yeah, Neve's in Lovers with who she's apprenticed by Lee.
Yeah. Which has to be. I mean, they're the three staples I've seen in the near area anyway.
Yeah.
Manchester, I'm not counting Manchester. They've got really good ones as well, but
Manchester got some great ones at like Rain City and stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll call it Merseyrail anyway. Merseyrail distances, you know. You got like Lovers,
the old
Merseyrail
tattoo seed.
Exactly, you know what I mean. Like, you know, that's how you can get to them easily. But that's what I'm saying, like, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I say, people like that who can do things like that are just incredible for me. Like,
yeah, I find it fascinating. Just the ability to. Have you had any tattoos as well that have just been freehand?
No. Most of them are obviously basically after the kind of, you know, 17, 18 debacle of like, getting tattooed. That's when I could become an actual adult. Then I thought, you know what, like I want a real tattoo. Like I used to go to a place in Plymouth which was called Dust and Bones. Okay. There's a guy there called Neil Pengilly, I think I say his surname. Really incredible artist. Like you look at his work, it's really good.
Yeah.
He owns Dust and Bones, and they got tattooed by a guy called Ricky Lee, who works out of, I think he works out of Barnstable now, which is Cornwall again. He worked in Bristol for a little while. He's good. He's a really good guy. I think he's more like he likes his like new Japanese traditional stuff.
Yeah.
But he don't like traditional tattoos and stuff. But yeah, he's tattooed me quite a lot. He was an incredible artist. Like, but again, I remember going in there once and because he was the apprentice at the time, and I was sitting there waiting for my appointment. I got my ditch done, and someone walked in. So it's back to the point of like saying, you know, like mad things, like not giving any references, but she walked in with some butterfly stickers purchased from Paper Chase. Right. So you know, like the little like 3D stickers you get,
like shiny ones.
Yeah, exactly.
Sparkly stickers from Paper Chase.
So just picture that in your brain right now of like a 3D sticker with a butterfly on it. Yeah. It's like, oh, my mate wants a tattoo and she wants something like this. Right. So Neil walked over and kind of took on and was like, oh, we can get you booked in. I think such a person's got space. Okay. And it's like, oh, so what do you want? And she was like, oh, like something like this, and give her these stickers over.
Yeah.
Still fully sealed. Like it was still the seal.
Yeah,
the packaging.
Just a packet of stickers.
And it was like, oh, okay. And just like, yeah, cool. Yeah, we'll get something drawn up for you and come back in about 45 minutes. He was like, okay. And I was like,
that's quick turnaround.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Like, a butterfly stickers of all things, but like you're saying, like, you know, like to get tattooed, so you can get a tattoo. It's like, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
But go to like, you know, you walk in, you know, back alley kind of places. You know what I mean? Just get one there. Yeah. Don't go to like a traditional place. The thing as well, the shop was on like the oldest street in Plymouth. It's called New Street, funny enough. It's the oldest street ever. You know, like they worked with Doc Price before, that kind of thing. Doc Price being like a really famous artist and stuff, you know, back in old school. And Plymouth again being a naval city, like, you know, traditional
massive
tattooing.
history of that kind of traditional Sailor Jerry stuff.
Exactly, you know what I mean? So yeah. But you know what? I think, like I say, you know, I feel we sound very elitist there by being like, oh, don't do this, don't that. But it's one of them. Do what you want at the same time, you know, like, I mean, like I said, I had some terrible decisions in terms of on your body for life, but I always say to people who say, you know, like, oh, I might get a tattoo, I might not. It's like, well, if you're really, really and on about, it's like, I want to be very meaningful, then do your research. Make sure you go to someone who you think you would love forever.
Yeah, I thought about having an octopus on my back.
Yeah, man.
At some point.
Cool.
Not a full-on kraken, a proper octopus.
Again,
I love octopus.
Funny enough, Will Geary, is that you say his name? Will Geary? Works in the Crown of Thorns.
Yeah.
So he does the most amazing kind of like, imagine a kraken by him. You know what I mean? Yeah. That is like a proper like ultimate dream of like kraken by him on my stomach. That'd be awesome.
I nearly bought myself an actual real life octopus a few months ago.
Did you actually?
Yeah, so close.
How close?
You wouldn't believe it. Like the pet shop had.
It was in the bag, ready to go, and you were like, actually, the cards
pretty
bounced.
much. I was like, well, the tank I've got's not suitable, so I've had to do a shed load of readjustments for it. Otherwise, I'd have had an octopus like crawling around my living room.
How big?
This was a baby octopus, and it waved at me through the hole in a little tub that it was in, and because they're the most incredible creatures, like they're the smartest animal.
Oh, really?
Planet,
in what way?
Yeah, bar none.
Just generally the intelligence.
Yeah, do you know what? There's a documentary I keep meaning to watch on Netflix about a guy who visits an octopus every single day.
Really? What?
He and the octopus basically befriends him.
That's crazy.
They're ridiculous. Genuinely little aliens in our own planet. So I was desperate to nearly take one home, but pulled myself away.
So why didn't you? Because it was so unfeasible.
Yeah, just it would escape. They're sometimes tricky to
the crafty
source. Yeah. Oh, they are. There's stories of them in sea life centres and zoos and whatnot. There's been incidents where they've been in certain rooms and they've noticed that other fish have been disappearing from other tanks, and it's turned out that the octopus has left its own tank in the middle of the night to go and have a snack.
Oh, wow.
On anything else, because they can fit through the tiniest of gaps.
I've seen them escape from jars before, and says like unpick the jar as well. They just screw it up.
Oh yeah, if you put an octopus in a jar, it will in a jam jar, in a creative jam jar.
That is creative jam jar, isn't it? Wow.
Then you can if you put their food in a jam jar and throw it in, they will work out how to get it out. They need toys. You can give them dog toys. You see them in sea life centres and stuff like that. They'll often have dog toys.
Wow.
In the octopus enclosures, because they need stimulation.
Wow.
They're like proper smart, intelligent beings.
That's incredible, isn't it? To think
they probably need more stimulation than you'd give something like a dog.
Wow.
In terms of just that constant.
And that's because they are creative thinkers. So essentially, in many ways, that is an interesting point, because again, something that is it's so relevant for octopus to be smart, isn't it? Like, why would they need intelligence? There must be a literal instinctive reason why they need to be intelligent. But why is that? I think a lot of it's survival. Like, you can see they change colour, they change shape, they hide themselves. The thing is, also the chameleons, they're probably not half as intelligent. So why does the octopus need that extra intelligence?
I think just because of the sophistication of the ecosystem around them.
True.
And how much it changes, and the massive things that they have to overcome.
Yeah.
Especially in recent years with pollution and whatnot, which just makes things even harder.
So if hardship makes them better, essentially.
Yeah, I think if you give an octopus nothing to do, it will just plot its way out.
Incredible.
It will look at that as its puzzle, or its thing to do.
Well, that's the thing, because any problem, like I've talked to people in industry, have said why do you want to be a web developer? Like for me it's boring. Why do you like it? Because the creative thinkers solving problems. And octopus is the same way, in terms of not that they enjoy being creative thinkers, but they just are, because they see a problem, think that's a hurdle, I'm gonna master it and get it where I want to be through that hurdle.
Exactly. I mean, and the way they learn, I mean, you see them, they cover themselves up with shells and things like that to disguise themselves as the bottom of. The fact that they can change colour is just weird.
That's so incredible.
Because again, you mentioned the chameleon thing, and that's a misconception with chameleons. They don't change colour to mask themselves into their background.
Wow.
The colour changes for them is about their mood and temperature.
Okay, that's interesting.
So yeah,
like a real life mood ring.
Yeah,
they actually work.
Yeah, absolutely. Most lizards do it. So some of my geckos, they call it firing up and firing down.
Wow.
So some of my geckos do it. Some of my toads do it. They'll go from olive green to bright green.
That's incredible.
So yeah, loads of lizards do that as part of their thermoregulating and showing that they're happy. But in terms of being a genuine like camouflage artist, it seems to be the octopus and cuttlefish that do it.
That's so interesting.
In a freakish way.
See, I can't wait to get a video on this stuff because you're going to have such a great show and tell about all these animals. Like, you know, it's incredible.
Yeah, I'll do a you could do Simon's tattoo tour. I'll do my little animal tour of all my freaky deaky stuff.
Matthew Attenborough, for sure.
Matthew Attenborough. Well, exactly. Someone's got to take over the mantle.
Oh, man.
Haven't they? Like, do you know that animals have evolved, especially domestic animals have evolved to interact with us?
Oh, really?
So I think it's cats have found that the ones with bigger eyes and things like that survive better because they remind us of human babies.
That's crazy.
Dogs only develop barks to communicate with us.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
dogs don't naturally bark. They growl. They similar to wolves. That's why you don't get wolves barking. I was going to say,
wolves don't bark.
You get them howling and calling and stuff. But dogs developed barks as a way of communicating with us.
Wow.
Over years and years of domestication.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's just a shocking thing to think that how well we affect the animals around us, and it doesn't matter what animal it is. The animal will learn to, apart from when we make them extinct and whatnot.
Yeah.
But if we can cohabit with the animal, then it will learn to
be like us, or at least exist with us.
Or the ones that will survive are the ones that will live in the environment with us.
Yeah. I think it's like emotional kind of, of evolution as well, because for example, if I was back in Neanderthal kind of stages, Ice Age, I would not see this cat and sit in my lap right now and think, I'm not going to eat you.
I'm going to eat that.
Exactly. So what's happened now is we've got emotions to be like, I could never do this to this poor kitty. All I do is love her. That's all I want to do is cuddle her. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah.
But evolution as well.
It's really strange though, that whole argument, because you do get that from, especially from vegan activists and things like that, the understanding that what makes a kitten different to a chicken, you know what I mean?
Well, this is probably something we can talk about with Jack's not here, because it's kind of bad, isn't it? Really, because he should be here for this.
We need Jack's opinion on that. That might be one to bottle.
But to be fair though, with Jack, it's not like he's a massive. Obviously, he loves animals, and it's probably part of the reason. But his is more health benefits, which I completely understand.
His was a health choice, very much. I remember. I think
for me, this might be a very, very naive thing to say, but it's what they give you back. For example, a chicken probably wouldn't give the same thing back from this cat would, if that makes sense. So
I don't know.
I know, but you're like an ultra. I would as well. I love animals. I really do love animals.
I'm an ultra.
For example, I don't like cooking meat. That is not really what I don't enjoy handling chicken, because I know it's a dead, slab of meat, and it's not really what I like doing. I will do it because again, I'm a meat eater. You know what I mean? But in terms of love and affection, I've had animals like dogs and cats and whatever else, domesticated animals basically, and that is what makes me feel I don't know, that what they give you back is a lot.
That warm fuzzy
comfort,
feeling inside.
That's it, comfort, even companionship, true. That kind of thing, but a chicken will, but it never will give you anything back. It'll be there to be like, oh, it's my chicken, but you own that. It's my chicken. But this is we are two friends basically,
Yeah.
We're not getting soppy and soft and stuff, but animals are.
For people listening, Simon's currently crying into the kitten.
I am. It's just so cute. Like I say, I can feel my lap is so warm right now. That sounds dodgy as anything.
I should point out the kitten is on his lap.
It is. At the minute, I've not pissed myself, not yet anyway. But anyway, she's just chilling, sleeping, just having a good time. She's happy, I'm happy. It's nice.
We're all happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's happy.
Exactly.
I think that's a really lovely note to end on.
It is. It really is. I'll be going for now.
What a warming, heartwarming episode we've had.
So that's the thing, if you've not got an animal, maybe you should get one, because if you're lonely right now and you need a friend, call the RSPCA and adopt an animal. Or go and find any skip you can find, and there might be a kitten there. There could be a skip kitten.
That's what Simon did.
We found a skip kitten.
Found a skip kitten.
I think that's what makes it better, though, when you rescue an animal, that's what makes you think, you know what, this little thing could have been dead right now, or even worse,
Absolutely. My mum's gotten obsessed with helping out a hedgehog rescue.
Oh, bless.
So she'll drop off stuff for it, or send them in the post to this place that rescues hedgehogs, who are really, really in need. Because they get a lot of deaths and habitat destruction, and get themselves into all sorts of bother. So well,
that's the thing, though, isn't it?
Helping animals is so rewarding. Yeah,
people might laugh like donkey sanctuaries and stuff like that, but at the same time, thing is, though,
really important places.
It's it's not important. It's just again, we've got a position of power as humans. Of we've got financials, we've got ways we can help animals that are helpless. So if you can do it and you want to do it, it could be something little, like I say, an old dog that needs a home, an old cat needs a home, anything like that. Just adopt something. And the tortoise, and even that in itself, that tortoise lives the best life. He's got a comfy bed, he can shit on it, he can do what he wants, and no one's mad as well. No one's even angry that he shits in the bed.
Can't be angry at him.
You can't.
If I shit the bed,
exactly. He's not going to give you shit, is he?
I'd get all hell. But this guy gets away with murder.
I know, because he is cute, though.
He is pretty cute.
This is why I can't wait for visual. Honestly, anyone listening right now who might actually follow us to the visual stage, you will not believe the amount of cool stuff we've got.
Seeing this little guy, it's his sweet 16th this year.
16, wow.
Yeah, bless him.
That's crazy. How old was it when you got him? How old was he?
How old was he?
Yeah.
He was the size of a 50p piece.
What? That's a small turtle. It's become like a big turtle. Whoa, that's mad.
Yeah. This is he was the size of. We put him next to a 50p piece, and he was that size.
So is it a terrapin that's grown big, or is it like a proper turtle?
No. This is a tortoise. Turtles.
So different thing altogether.
Yeah, I've got turtles downstairs, but again, they were the size of a 20p piece.
What?
Something like that. But yeah, tortoises. Tortoises live on land, turtles water.
More, do you know? I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a horrible but hilarious video of this woman who thinks that she's saving a turtle, and she shouts "turtle saving is a hobby" as she throws a tortoise into a lake.
What?
Which means the tortoise will completely die.
Oh, what the fuck?
Because tortoises can't swim. So
that's nuts.
Yeah, they did a follow-up interview with her where she was absolutely distraught because she thought she was just helping this little turtle.
Oh no!
When in actual fact she'd just killed a tortoise.
Okay, so to reiterate that what I just said just then, if you're gonna adopt an animal, especially a tortoise,
know what you're doing.
Do your research. Yeah, don't just think I am the saviour. You might not be. You might not be the saviour.
Please do a Google.
Yeah, that's all it takes. Everyone's got a smartphone. No excuses. Do a Google.
Have a little read. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I think that's some fine life advice.
It is. What's it?
Right. Shall we wrap this up?
We should. So yeah, everyone, thank you so much for listening again. If you've been listening again, if you're a new listener. Yeah. And don't forget as well, anything you hear from this, these topics, these discussions, always email hello@freecollective.co.uk and just say hello. Tell me some thoughts. Hello. Tell us some thoughts. Just basically, tell us we're crap. Do what you want. I don't care. Test me ego. We'll see. But yeah, and also
fight him.
Yeah, you could do. You might win, but maybe not. Depends how big you are. We'll see. But one thing we should say: what is the jam of the week?
Jam of the week. Jam of the week. Ooh.
You know what I'd say jam of the week is for me?
What?
Respect tattoo artists, because the things they know is incredible.
The things they know and the things they go through
I know, exactly.
With the general public.
You've got, exactly. And also, when you're an apprentice, you've got to sweep, mop the floor, do the cleaning, and then you still got to draw. Exactly. And also, multi-skilled, everything else, talent-wise, you've got to be from a different cut of cloth to be a tattoo artist, so respect tattoo artists.
Incredible people.
Yeah. When you're 25, well, not even, like, maybe in 22 years of age, and you still got that kind of talent, you've done some work in your life. So
and they make me and Simon look so pretty.
Yes.
Which is the main.
Subjectively, but I would say we're good looking lads, aren't we? Yeah. Well, no one can see us right now, so
we'll just say
take
we
our
are.
word
We'll
for
say
it.
we are. Yeah. For anyone
take
listening,
our word for it.
For anyone listening who wants to slide into Simon's DMs.
Ooh, and Matthew's as well. Actually, no, you're taken.
I'm taken.
Matthew's taken, so maybe not Matthew, but me though. We'll see, won't we?
We'll see.
Yeah, email us, like I just said. But anyway, thanks everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Bosh.